Well, everything was moving right along just the way we wanted it to. Unfortunately, until the seventh inning, we clawed out or scratched out that run in the bottom of the sixth, and thought we were in a really good position. And unfortunately, we didn't execute a couple key pitches and key moments, and they took advantage of it. So sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due. When mistake pitches were thrown, their hitters took advantage of it. But I thought Patrick did an outstanding job getting us to that point. He gave up a couple runs and got himself into a situation where there was tremendous damage control. He gave up 2 runs after having the bases loaded with no outs. And he from that point, I think it was the 5th and the 6th, and he really got moving in the right direction and came out of the game with a lead. Offensively, I know it wasn't we didn't do a great job with runners in scoring position. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So a little bit of what I said yesterday, these guys, they have raised the expectations where we expect it to happen, and when it doesn't, it's kind of startling, but this game's tough. And I thought we did enough offensively to win. It just didn't match all the way through the entire game.
This bullpen's been so good. It's one of those things that you look back and you haven't seen
right.
that happen very much. Is that just kind of chalk it up to and obviously
in the 8th, yeah, you know, errors happen in this game, and we ask our pitchers to pick up our defenders, and you know it happens, and we're aware of it. Unfortunately, you're right. It created a base running opportunity, and I think unfortunately Randall couldn't make any adjustments and get himself through that inning. You know, it seemed like every mistake that he threw, they put a good swing on it, squared it up. So a little bit of what I was talking about earlier is that those mistake pitches are not what we're trying to do. We're never trying to mislocate pitches, types of pitches, or location. And it seemed like when we did in that inning, the last couple of innings, they really took advantage of it. So the key point here is that our bullpen has risen to several challenges, and when they don't come through and moments like that happen, once again, like the offense not coming through, it's a little bit startling. So it was a clunker. We throw it out, come out here tomorrow. Yeah, a big double off the wall. I think that got us our first or second run. He's been taking very aggressive swings, and he's been barreling balls, just missing some balls. So, you know, the season has ups and downs, and I know that he probably hasn't gotten the types of hits or results that he wants, but he keeps powering through it, and today's a good day for him. Well, yeah, I mean, you have an established major league hitter that has a tremendous track record. So sometimes you look up at the board and you see the matchups and you can get fooled by it. And we know he's hitting 230 something, but it's still Matt Carpenter. And we talked about in pregame with certain situations that we would rather have the guy on deck beat us. Not a very traditional move where you put the go-ahead run on base, but I felt like the matchup with Ruby and the stuff was going to be better served for the next hitter. Unfortunately, we didn't execute a pitch, and he took advantage of it.
Torey, what were you looking for in a guy like Kendall Marte, young guy, going for Nick Ahmed? Obviously made his MLB debut today. What were you looking for?
Well, it's not his MLB debut. It was 2017 debut. I mean, he was with the Mariners, and well, a little bit of what he offered for us today. He is a middle infielder. That plays well above average defense. We feel like the offense has ironed itself out after maybe a subpar offensive year in Seattle last year by going down to the minors and pounding away at some things, and everything was translating and progressed the way we wanted it to. So he deserves a lot of credit for performing the way he did, and we want that to continue here. We know that he's loaded with talent. We know that he has a lot of capabilities to help us out in a couple different roles. He's going to get some starts in Nick's absence, and he's going to also be coming off the bench, and there's tremendous value to him being a switch hitter. It gives me a lot of wiggle room to not have to worry about who's coming in the game. He's a productive switch hitter.
We've lost back-to-back games, I think, since the beginning of June.
Yeah.
Big series, the Rockies coming up.
Yeah.
You guys have always shown, at least this year, the ability to turn the page, how crucial it is.
Well, we need to do it. I know that we've shown that habit all year long. So these guys are tough. These guys will cycle through what happened. I know that they're gonna make it a collective effort tomorrow, and we'll come out and play energized baseball. That's all we can do. We can't predict a win or a loss. We can just learn from what we went through today and be ready for tomorrow. Yes, we've lost a couple games in a row, and it's the 4 alarm bells aren't going off. We know that happens in this game. But I like the idea of our guys learning from some of their mistakes today, and I think they will.
You call it today a clunker, but I would imagine you would take winning 50 out of 80 most of the time.
Absolutely, you're right, and I don't joke me with that phrase. Maybe the last couple innings was a clunker, right? And that was my way of saying, hey, look, it's time we got to forget about it, and we know moments like that happen. So that's why I said something like that. But you're right, we have 50 wins, and when we talked about having to earn things and going out and performing and being ready every night, I think we've done that. We have a long way to go. We haven't even hit July yet. So we know we're basically at the midway point of the season, and we got to continue doing exactly what we've done, the way we've done it, until the final out of the year.
Now, what do you think has been the reason for such a good start?
Well, I think there's good players here. I really do. I think as we're getting a taste of the rest of the National League. I think we have some of the best players that deserve all-star consideration. We all know who they are. And things are really matching and clicking. This is a very cohesive team, a very strong unit that cares about one another. They are built on being a good teammate and taking care of each other, and that's what's really propelled us as quickly as it has.
Following up on just how good of a season you've had to the midpoint, teams always talk about establishing a winning culture. So I wonder for this team, which hasn't had a winning record since 2011, what do you think has changed here as far as establishing a winning culture?
Well, I think these players have timed well. They've come together. They're a bunch of guys that have known each other for several years through the minor league system, and they realize now after spending a year or two at the big league level, it's their turn, it's their time, and they understand what it takes to be a winner. I'm sure that they've all had a taste of it at some different points of their career. So I think being a winning player doesn't necessarily mean winning every game that you play. Being a winning player is more about the expectation for me. Being a winning player is laying down in front of somebody so they can walk over you and get through that tough moment. Being a winning player is battling with your brother and setting yourself aside for the moment. I think that's what these guys do every single day.
Looked like Randall's velocity was fine, maybe not quite as sharp. Do you think that had something to do with the short rest?
It may have. I know he had several days off. It was what we expected and what we wanted to give him. I haven't had a chance to talk to Butch, but what it looked like to me, he was yanking some pitches. He might not have been in line. I think the fastball command was not what we expected, and the secondary stuff was out over the plate. And you could see when you make minor mistakes and at this level, hitters take advantage of it. But I know that Randall will rebound from this. I feel comfortable saying that he's as good as spitting something out and getting ready for the next moment.
And it seems like kind of juggling the rotation a few days ago is kind of maybe led to some bullpen challenges maybe for you guys in the next couple days.
I think so. You're talking about when Randall started on last Sunday? Yeah, I think there was a strategy for that. We all know what it was, to give the starters an extra day. We were playing catch-up a little bit. I don't think it was necessarily the reason why we lost yesterday or today. It just creates some challenges that we overcome as an organization. I think we have the proper depth, and we asked guys to step up in the bullpen to work through it, and I think they did.